Hello students, good evening. This is P Bhardwaj here from Chandigarh. You might have liked my previous video in which I told you, I guided you, I advised you how to prepare for your CLAT examination in the present days of lockdown and how to prepare for CLAT 2020 based on the proposed new pattern. Now today I am here to discuss with you the queries posed by you over the telephone, on the YouTube, on the WhatsApp, that how to prepare for legal aptitude section for CLAT 2020. Let me tell you first about the legal aptitude section. Legal aptitude primarily comprises two main components, legal awareness and legal reasoning. Legal awareness further consists of legal terms, maxims, constitutional law, legal facts, current legal GK. As far as legal reasoning is concerned, it demands of you to know the basics of civil law, criminal law, law of torts. Very simple, very basic, very primary and elementary knowledge of all these sections. As far as the legal aptitude section is concerned, it is one of the most important section of CLAT and other law entrances tests. As all of you know, that I am the author of the book Legal Awareness and Legal Reasoning, comprising both the parts of legal aptitude section of CLAT, SLAT, ALET, PU, DU and other law entrances. Before going further about how to prepare for legal aptitude section, let me briefly tell you about the importance of this book. This book has traveled a long history of 12 years since 2008 when CLAT was introduced for the first time. When the first time CLAT was introduced, the biggest challenge before the student was the legal aptitude section. I was the first person, I was the first trainer or the tutor who came forward with a proposal to write a book on legal aptitude. And my proposal was accepted by the internationally acclaimed publisher, PEARSON publishers. They took the bold initiative and endorsed my proposal, and we came out with a book, Legal Aptitude, comprising legal awareness and legal reasoning for CLAT, SLAT, ALET and other law entrances. The book was a very handy book, about 150 pages and around 1,000 or 1,500 questions. But as the CLAT started its journey, so my book started its journey with CLAT, running parallel to it step by step. It has grown manifold in its quality, in its quantity, in its reach, in its number and its popularity. Now it is a huge, gargantuan masterpiece of 800 pages. It was the first specific, exclusive and comprehensive book for legal aptitude section. And it has retained its monopoly, it has retained its uninterrupted growth, and it has retained its uncontinued reach among the students. Almost all the students, 1 among 2, 50 among 100, 1,000 among 2,000, and almost 50% of the total CLAT aspirants and other law entrance test aspirants are reading this book, or they have read this book, or if they haven't read this book, they must read it. It has evolved gradually with its revamping and revision on alternate years regularly. Its quality has increased manifold. It has been improved regularly on the basis of the inputs and feedback from hundreds of students from my own institute, Innovation Chandigarh, their inputs and their feedback, give us the idea, give us their demands, give us their requirements, and we keep on improving and updating it. So this is the present 7th edition in front of you after 12 years. Now, as far as legal aptitude is concerned, it mainly comprises two components, two parts, that is legal awareness and legal reasoning. When you will open this book starts with a detailed analysis of CLAT and ALET. Again, the analysis starts with the analysis of the legal aptitude from 2008 to 2019 and provides the detailed analysis of legal awareness and legal reasoning in the form of the table, providing you the information about the number of questions asked from legal awareness and legal reasoning invariably in different years on both the components of legal aptitude section and on the topics and subtopics of legal awareness and legal reasoning, be it legal terms, be it legal maxims, constitutional law, legal GK, current legal GK, civil law, criminal law, law of torts, and other miscellaneous information. From this analysis, from this tabular analysis, you will be able to make out what is required in the legal aptitude section, what you are supposed to read, how to read, from where to read. And you will come to the conclusion, all of you come to the unanimous conclusion that you can't afford to skip this book, Legal Awareness and Legal Reasoning, with market monopoly of #1 bestseller for the last 12 years. Even if you explore it on the Google, you will find that all the sites, all the online portals, all the apps, all the speakers, trainer, tutor, guides will recommend you this book. You can't afford to skip it. This is a must-read book because a lot of efforts have been put in. A lot of pains have been taken. A lot of suggestions have been considered. A lot of feedback has been analyzed on every alternate year before its new edition. So the present edition runs into approximately 800 pages. When you will open the book, you will find that it has been divided into two parts, legal awareness and legal reasoning. Legal awareness covers legal terms, legal maxims, constitutional law, quick facts, one-liners, and all the questions asked in the previous years provided there in a separate chapter with the answers key. Then switching over to the next topic, to the next section, provides the legal reasoning, starting with a detailed chapter on the legal reasoning, covering all the components and all the topics of the legal reasoning in the briefest possible manner, in the tabular form, in the graphic form, so as to enable the students to understand the technicalities of the legal reasoning with ease and comfort. Then there are chapters on civil law, criminal law, law of torts. Again, a chapter on previous year's questions on legal reasoning from CLAT, SLAT, ALET, PU, DU have been composed in a separate chapter with answers key. Now the students are asking repetitively that how to use this book, how to make the best optimum use of this book, especially in the present context of CLAT 2020 based on the proposed new pattern. I would tell you, I would suggest you that there is nothing to be panicky, there is nothing to be worried, there is nothing to be anxious, there is not going to be any rocket science. When you will start this book with the section 1, legal awareness, read the legal term, solve the MCQs, switch over to the next chapter, that is legal maxims, again read the maxims, solve the MCQs, then switch over to the constitutional law, which is the most detailed and extensive chapter in the book, because constitutional law is a very vast law. But in order to facilitate the students to understand the topics and the subtopics in the proper context and perspective, each and every topic and subtopic is followed by the relevant MCQs. When you solve them, you will understand the topic. When you will read the topic, you will be able to solve the MCQs. So both are interrelated. Both are interrelated. But once you are finished with the constitutional law, you will find 1000 MCQs. When you will go through those 1000 MCQs, they will not only reinforce your concepts, they will strengthen your base, and they will enthuse you with a special sense of confidence. So having finished with legal terms, legal maxims, constitutional law, you will find the proficiency tests, which are based on the level of preparedness of the students, level of understanding of the students, divided into different levels, starting from the primary, basic, elementary level up to the advanced level. That is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Having gone through these chapters, you must read chapter 1. There is a brief summary of entire legal awareness section into 40 pages all. Read them, reread them as many times as you can. Once you will master this first chapter, you will find ample number of MCQs at the end of the chapter which you are supposed to solve as many times as you can, so as to master the chapter 1, which is the sum and substance of the entire legal awareness section of 400 pages in the section 1 of the book. Practice them, solve them as many as times you can. You will master the legal awareness section. Then switch over to the legal reasoning section. Again, the chapter 7 provides the sum and substance of the legal reasoning, be it civil law, criminal law, law of torts, the law in its general sense, the violation of the law, the parties to the law, and what are the offenses, what are the type of offenses, what are culpable offenses, what are the non-culpable offenses, what are the compoundable offenses, non-compoundable offenses, etc., etc., etc. So then again switch over to the civil law, criminal law, law of torts, solve the questions, master them. Again come back to the chapter 7, which is the crux of the entire legal reasoning. Having gone through this entire book, you will see that the chapter 1, 5 and 7, they sum up the entire book in 80 pages. All the 800 pages summed up in the 80 pages. Master them, read them, reread them as many times as you can. Having gone through this book, you will be enthused with a special sense of confidence. You will be self-motivated. You will be able to solve any question of any type, of any structure, in any form, in any pattern, in any law entrance. Now coming to the CLAT 2020 pattern. As students are getting anxious, students are getting panicky, that what type of comprehensions on legal aptitude will be asked. As CLAT testing agency, CLAT testing authorities have provided samples on their sites. On the basis of those samples and coupled with my decade-long experience, more than decade-long experience, I can suggest you a few examples. I have just framed and incorporated a legal aptitude sample paper in the second forthcoming edition of my book, Legal Aptitude Workbook, which is a practice manual, which is perfectly practice manual, and which is underprint and will be coming into the market by the May end or by the mid-June, and will be available online and offline by the mid-June. But in the meantime, focusing on this book, how can you solve the CLAT 2020 legal aptitude section? Suppose they have to ask a question on legal terms. Earlier they used to ask simple MCQs and you were supposed to answer if you know what is the meaning of FIR, what is the meaning of accused, what is the meaning of guilty, what is the meaning of extradition, what is the meaning of ex parte decision, or the meaning of sub judice or dealter patrum or acceptor. Now what will they do? Now they will just put and club the relevant terms into one particular comprehension, conveying a particular meaning in the message, or and in a particular context and in a particular perspective. For example, they can start at a comprehension of the legal terms with the definition of law, and the violation of law results into offense. Happening of offense set the state and police agencies, prosecution agencies into motion. What is the meaning of setting them into motion? Registration of FIR, nabbing the offender, arresting him, starting the trial, or giving him a chance to get the bail, then joining the investigation, then starting the trial. Trial starts, charge is framed, the judge takes the cognizance, and the trial starts. The trial culminates into the conclusion, and the conclusion is the conviction of the offender or the acquittal of the offender. So, when the trial is continuing, in the civil matters, the parties are plaintiff and defendant. In the criminal cases, the parties are the accused and the prosecution. After trial, one party is loser, one party is winner. The loser will go into appeal to the high courts and to the Supreme Court. The high courts and Supreme Courts will give them the fair chance of hearing under a principle of audi alteram paltram, and will also follow the other principles of law like res ipsa loquitur, double jeopardy, and deliver the judgment after thorough hearing and giving chance to both the parties. But in certain cases, ex parte decisions are also given, where the parties are non-associating, non-cooperating, and non-participating. While giving the judgments at the trial court, at the high court, certain legal terms are also considered, like alibi, when the offender says that he was not present at the time of the commission of the offense. Absconding, when the offender flees away from the law after the commission of the offense. Sometimes the offender flees away across the seas to the distant countries, then the law of the extradition comes into action. Law of the extradition provides extradition treaty to the different countries for the mutual exchange of the offenders. So on and so forth. They can form a number of comprehensions on the basis of terms. And all the terms used in the comprehension can be asked in the form of multiple choice questions to you. You can easily answer them. Now, coming to the constitutional law, what type of comprehensions they can ask? They can ask a question on the burning issues of J&K. The special status has been abrogated after the abrogation of Article 370. Now, how they will frame the comprehension? They can frame the constitution comprehension with the past history of the J&K when it had the special status under Article 370, and now the new status of J&K after its bifurcation into the UTs of Jammu and Ladakh. What provisions were implemented before abrogation of 370? Now, what provisions are implementable after the abrogation of 370? There's no rocket science, no difficulty, easily understandable. You can easily understand, you can read them, you can answer them, you can answer the MCQs. Coming to the president, coming to the executive, coming to the legislature, coming to the judiciary, they can again frame the same similar comprehensions. Like in the present days of lockdown, the lockdown fails, curfew fails, public goes out of control, corona goes out of control, there may arise the situation of imposing national emergency. They can frame a comprehension of the emergency powers of the president. Who can impose? When it can be imposed? How it can be imposed? What are the consequences? What are the repercussions? When it has been imposed in the past? Why was it imposed in the past? What were the conditions of imposition of presidential by the president before 44th Amendment 1978? What are the conditions of imposition of national emergency by the president after 44th Amendment? Who is the competent authority to recommend it? So on and so forth. Same is with the fundamental right. Same is with so many other topics. As far as the legal reasoning is concerned, if you come to the form of comprehensions, suppose they ask a comprehension of the civil law. Earlier they used to ask you a legal principle, factual situation, then the MCQs. Now they will club many legal principles in one form of the comprehensions, and they will ask a few questions in the form of examples on the basis of those principles of civil law. Like, what is contract? What are the essentials of contract? What are the unlawful contracts? The parties to the contract, capacities to the contract. What are the means of unlawful objects and unlawful considerations? Which contracts are void, which are voidable, which are null and void, which are enforceable, which are not enforceable, so on and so forth. Nothing to worry, nothing to be anxious, nothing to be panicky. I can assure you, if you master this book, on the pattern, I have told you, I have guided you, chapter 2nd, 3rd, 4th, read it, solve it, master the chapter 1st and 5th, and the 7th. Read them, reread them as many times, mug them up, retain them, imbibe them, internalize them, and solve all the practice exercises given at the end of the chapter 1 and 5. Same as with law of torts. They will tell you what is tort. Tort results into damages. Damages are two types: damnum sine injuria, injuria sine damnum. Then there are exceptions to these two damages: voluntary non-fit injuria, act of God, inevitable accident. Then they again will club all these concepts of tort in one particular comprehension and frame the illustration and ask them MCQs. So I would request you, I would suggest to you, I would advise you, don't get panicky, don't get confused, don't get haywire, just focus on one single standard book. Having a market monopoly of more than 12 years since 2008 when CLAT was introduced. This was the first book and this is the only book. This was the only available book in 2008 and this is the only available book till the date in the market and the online portals, be it Flipkart, be it Amazon, be it Snapdeal, be it any other portal. So just trust me, trust this book, go through it religiously, thoroughly and perfectly. Once you will perfectly master this book, there will be no problem for you on legal aptitude section, be it in the CLAT, be it in the SLAT, be it in the ALET, PU, DU, BLAT, any other law entrance examination. And for any further query, you can call me, you can contact me on 8847482938. I would request you to like my video, to share my video, to subscribe it and leave your comment and query below the link. I will try to prepare my video on the basis of your queries next time. Thank you friends. Have a nice day. Don't get confused. Don't falter. Don't waver. Be single-minded. Be focused. Stay concentrated. And always bear in your mind few important tips which I repetitively tell you, which I repetitively share with you. Time management is a life management. Time management is the most important factor. Maintain your confidence level. Don't get confused. Don't believe the rumors. Don't believe the propaganda. Don't run after the fake news. Just maintain your confidence level and have positive attitude. Positive attitude can bring the miraculous results and the negative attitude can produce the disastrous results. So stay focused, stay positive, stay concentrated, maintain your confidence level, manage your time. Time management is a life management and rely on the basic primary books which I had outlined in my previous video. Don't go haywire, don't waver, don't falter, don't dawdle. Best of luck, have a nice day. Thank you friends. Wait for the next video. Good day.